Hello everyone, I'm Anime Freak and welcome to part 2 of my Goku vs Superman debunk and solution video. If you haven't seen part 1 of this part 2 video, then there's a link in the description box, so go and watch that first, then come back and watch this video. With that said, let's continue. This is how this is going to play out. First, I will give my thoughts on the 3 fights. Second, my solution. And 3, my final word. But before I do any of that, I just want to say this. I'm a fair person, and if Screw Attack did their calculations right, I wouldn't have nothing to complain about, which I'm going to get into later on. To my fellow Dragon Ball Z fans, and to the Superman fans, there's something I want you guys to know. Even though I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, I don't hate Superman. In fact, I like him very much. Well, the Justice League Supes and Superman vs the Elite and All-Star Superman. Those are the only Superman I know. I don't know about the other versions. I'm not really into DC. No disrespect to the DC fans. But let me tell you guys something. When I got back from school, I watched the Justice League as well as Dragon Ball Z. Both were very good and I would recommend them to anybody. But for me, Dragon Ball Z got my attention more. Mainly because Dragon Ball Z at first to me was very weird. But when I sat down and watched it from episode to episode, and when the fights came on, holy crap. The fights with Nappa and Vegeta and Goku and the Z-Warriors, it was freaking fantastic. And the deaths and the animation at the time, and how Goku went Kamehameha with Vegeta's Gallic gun, that was... jeez. Sorry about that, guys. Went down memory lane there for a sec. It was awesome. Superman at the time, when I was younger, just felt like a costume hero going around saving people, which is awesome, but for me, I just watched the Justice League for Batman. But when I watched both fights that Screw Attack gave us, especially Fight 2, where they explained where Goku is a hard worker and has a no give up attitude, and if you push yourself to your absolute limits, you can overcome anything, which is Goku's character. But when Screw Attack talked about Superman, on how he has all this power and it's how he uses it responsibly and if he's doing the right thing with it, which to my knowledge, we haven't seen Goku go through this. Goku is wide-eyed and innocent, but is too trusting and naive. Don't get me wrong, this is something that I love about Goku, but throughout the series, this has actually backfired in him a couple of times, but again, this is what I really like about Goku. But back to Superman. And to be honest, that's actually a really good concept on how he uses his powers responsibly and such. Because if I really think about the Superman in the alternate dimension who turned into the Justice Lord Superman, the one who ruled the world with an iron fist, if it wasn't for Justice Lord Superman coming into our universe, well, Supes' universe, but you guys know what I'm trying to say, then our Superman wouldn't reflect on how he could have been just like Justice Lord Superman. Also, I like how he never takes a life, unless it's Man of Steel. I also like how he's willing to give people chances and wants to see the good in others. Like in All-Star Superman, where Supes believes there's some good in Lex Luthor. And spoilers, and by the end of the movie, Lex seems to have changed his ways. And when I saw Superman versus the Elite, and he had seemingly killed the Elite and took away Manchester's powers, I was like, dude, that is cruel. But when it was all a ruse, and he didn't kill them, and only stopped Manchester's powers for a short time, I was like, okay, I like this guy. He's the sort of character that I like. So yeah, I've made it clear that I don't hate Superman, so with that said, let me continue. Now, my thoughts on their first fight. There's a link in the description box below to that fight, and to be honest, it was really a good fight, and the details Screw Attack gave at the time, and I liked how they used their arsenals to the best of their abilities. But I have to disagree on something, and it's this. At the time, power levels up till Frieza said his power level was at 1 million, and you know that scene where Frieza said his power level was at 1%? Well, if you was to read the subs, it says something different. And you know what? I'm just gonna say it. Goku's power level when he was fighting Frieza in his Super Saiyan form was at 15 million. And Frieza's power level at full power was 12 million. And yeah, I know there's an official book that says otherwise, but I prefer the power level I knew as a kid. And the only reason Frieza said his power was at 1% was because it was dubbed that way. Again, if you was to watch the subs when he says that, the subs say something completely different. So yeah, power scaling plays a huge role throughout the Dragon Ball series, comparing characters to other characters' speed and power. Sure, most characters can't use abilities like regeneration like Cell or Boo can do, which Goku can't do, but over time, if Goku was to train and get more forms like his Super Saiyan God form, then he can overcome and surpass his opponents. Hell, Goku can even beat Frieza in his base form and Frieza using only his 100% power minus golden form. This is because Goku has trained all these years, and now Goku doesn't even need to go into any of his Super Saiyan forms to beat 100% full power Frieza minus the golden form. And if you've watched Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super, you can see that power scaling is necessary to compare other characters. Abilities wise, like breathing in space and regeneration, yes, Goku can't do any of this. But in terms of power and speed, it is a necessary factor. So with training, yes, Goku can overcome the feats that lesser Dragon Ball characters can do. So Screw Attack has screwed up in that department. Again, throughout the series, power scaling plays a huge part. For example, Dragon Ball concentrates on how strong Goku is compared to humans, and then later King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr. And in Dragon Ball Z, we concentrate on power levels, because earlier in Dragon Ball Z, just by looking at the characters, we couldn't tell who was stronger unless they fought each other or the characters said what their power levels was. And later on they trained and they got new forms, and it also shows in Dragon Ball Super. But we're only just getting into Dragon Ball Super, so who knows what's going to happen in that. But back to Screw Attack's Goku vs Superman Part 1. The fight itself was pretty damn sweet. It had its funny moments, like that time when Goku went Kaioken and Supes replied, "Kaio what?" and then Goku smacked him in the face. And how Goku destroyed that kryptonite to help Superman? Yeah, that's totally what Goku would do. And I also loved how they interacted with each other. It was great. It was a great fight. The outcome was disappointing because Goku lost, but when Screw Attack gave their explanation as to why Goku lost, at the time I couldn't argue with it. These guys even said,
"He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick." And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
But they seem to have forgotten that Goku's base form gets stronger the more he trains. Sure, his Super Saiyan forms increases his power, but in the Ginyu saga, when Ginyu was in Goku's body, Goku's power base level was at 21,000 without Kaioken. So that old calculation thing is something that needs to be looked over again. It's not only his training, but Goku improves and learns with every fight. And thanks to his Saiyan heritage, after healing from nearly dying, his power increases. This can be seen throughout the Frieza saga, and then for some reason it's completely forgot about after the Frieza saga. Actually, that's a good point. Why didn't Trunks, Vegeta, Goku and Gohan just continuously fatally injure each other during the 10 days they had of training to beat Cell? Why didn't they go into the hyperbolic time chamber and have Dende with them and blow all into each other each and every time and have Dende heal them, and then after every heal they get stronger and stronger? This would have saved a lot of time, but that's for another video altogether. Again, Goku could beat full power Frieza in his base form at the end of Z, and doesn't even need to go Super Saiyan to beat him until Frieza becomes golden and Goku is on par with him in his God Blue form in Super. So again, Screw Attack's calculations need to be recalculated, but it was only after I watched Animation Rewind's video Goku vs Superman I started to question Screw Attack's fight, but I'll get to that later. There's a link in the description box below to Animation Rewind's Goku vs Superman, and there's a link in the description box to my reaction video to Animation Rewind's videos. But before the second fight between Supes and Goku came along, there was Boo versus Kirby, and let me tell you this, that fight was complete bullshit, but that's another video altogether. Actually, there's a link in the description box leading to a video to a guy named the AF17's, and he explains better as to why Boo would win and reveals that Screw Attack's calculations are wrong. And I'm not saying this because I'm a Dragon Ball Z fan, but because Screw Attack has it all wrong. I'm not biased in the least, guys, so yeah, that fight was bullshit. Now onward to fight 2 of Goku vs Superman, and to be honest, again, at the time I couldn't argue, and I think we can give Screw Attack some leeway because the movies didn't show us what the God forms are capable of until Super came along. But there is a few things I have to say about this video. To start off, the animation looked pretty freaking awesome. It's a major upgrade to the first fight, but that's only the animation I have to praise about this video. And I have some complaints, like when they said Superman has a new ability called the Super Flare, which doesn't even make an appearance in this fight. Also, How the hell does Superman know about the Dragon Balls? Also, I can tell that Screw Attack hasn't done their research, because Dende is the creator of the Dragon Balls, and he was on Earth when the Earth blew up in the first fight. So if he dies, the Dragon Balls turn to stone, and the Dragon Balls would have been destroyed because the Earth blew up. Point 3. They meshed 2 other versions of Superman together. And yes, I know they meshed other versions of Superman in the first fight. And let's be honest, meshing up every single Superman into one is completely unfair, and this would make Superman a very inconsistent character. This is why I like Animation Rewind more, because he's using one Superman per fight instead of meshing every single Superman into one. Go and watch his videos with Superman in them and you'll see what I mean. 4th point. In his Super Saiyan 4 form, he went on par with Superman in fight 1, but Super Saiyan God and Super Saiyan God Blue are otherworldly strong, much stronger than Super Saiyan 4. Hell, it's even more stronger than Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta and Gogeta, which are the most powerful characters in the whole of the series of Z. Goku said this himself when he said that he and Vegeta couldn't beat Beerus even if they fused in their golden forms at full power. But Superman easily kicked Goku's ass in Super Saiyan Blue form, which can destroy the universe. But again, this was before Super, so again, I'll give them some leeway. Superman boasts what he can do while fighting Goku, like clapping and destroying a tornado, and he also says with every step an earthquake happens. Yeah, Superman's most powerful punch can destroy a planet, while Goku's punch can destroy a whole freaking universe. The animation might look good, but where is the comedy like in the last fight, and how they worked off of each other? That was one of the things I really enjoyed about the death battle between these two. Point 6. Cell said his Kamehameha could destroy the whole solar system, which Goku can easily do at Super Saiyan 2 and 3. And in the last fight, Ki attacks pushed Superman back, and a Kamehameha times 10 in Super Saiyan 4 form overpowers him and pushes him into the sun. But a Super Saiyan God Blue Kamehameha, which can destroy the whole universe, does nothing to him, and he just walks through it? What a lot of bullshit. Point 8, which is probably the most anticlimactic thing that Screw Attack has given us. In fight 2, they lobotomize Goku. Seriously, you lobotomize Goku. One of the most biggest fights that everyone on the internet has been asking you to do, and it's your second fight and only second fight, and you give us something as anticlimactic as that. What the hell is wrong with you, Screw Attack? I mean, come on, you could have ended it much better than that. I mean, did you run out of budget on that fight or something? And one more thing. Point 9. Superman doesn't kill people. Yes, it's death battle, but again, Superman does not kill people. I mean, people went nuts in Man of Steel. When Superman killed Zod. I mean, why not have Superman demobilize Goku or something? That would have been much better. And then after the fight, Screw Attack gave more of Superman's feats, which, by the way, was debunked by Animation Rewind. But at the time, I couldn't argue with what they said because we didn't have Super to back up what Goku can do. They made good points at the time. Besides the animation being freaking amazing, I loved their speech at the end of the video about Goku and Superman being inspiring. Like, Goku inspires people to work hard so they can achieve their goals and overcome anything. And what they said about Superman doing the right thing with his powers, which is a very interesting concept, because again, Justice Lord Superman, everybody. If we really think about it, Superman is, okay, I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail from my fellow Dragon Ball Z fans, but if you really think about it, Superman, in this respect, on how, if he's using his powers responsibly, is the more interesting character. Now, to my fellow Dragon Ball Z fans, don't get me wrong, I do love Goku, I really do. He's my childhood hero. But if we ever look at Superman in that respect, on how he uses his powers responsibly, like, you know, great power comes with great responsibility, that is a very good message to everybody out there. Because if someone's in power, they need to use that power responsibly. So yes, I do agree with Screw Attack on that. And to answer Screw Attack's question, if Goku was limitless like Superman, would I want him? And the answer would be no, I wouldn't, because it's so much more satisfying to see Goku work hard and achieve his goals and overcome his opponents. No offense to the Superman fans, of course. But I really do like that concept of Superman, that he's doing the right thing with his powers. Now, on to Goku vs Superman 3. Animation Rewind, or as I like to call it, the debunked Superman vs Goku video. To start off, Animation Rewind, you're over dramatic. Keep it up, mate. When Animation Rewind said there was 44 versions of Superman with different authors and many timelines and universes, he said he wouldn't mesh all versions of Superman into one, and that got me thinking for the ultimate solution to end this tiresome debate once and for all, but I'll get to that later. And if you've seen the part where he says Superman is a solar battery and he fights with Doomsday, he makes a pretty sound argument. Animation Rewind also says that Superman has never had unlimited power like Spectre or other magical beings, and weights he can't lift or enemies he can't outrun, and if an enemy is too powerful or too numerous, he can call the help of the Justice League. And oh yeah, hey Screw Attack, why didn't you check in the official Superman book? I guess you didn't know about that, did you? But at the time when I first saw Animation Rewind's Goku vs Superman video, well, before I watched Animation Rewind's video on Goku vs Superman, I was thinking, oh god, here we go. Superman's got this. Screw Attack even said why and how Superman would win. And then, after I watched Animation Rewind's Goku vs Superman and how he explains why Goku would win, I was very, very angry, as you can see in my Part 1 video. When Animation Rewind said about pre-crisis Superman making his own abilities and breaking infinity and destroying an whole solar system with just a sneeze and is limitless, which I have to admit, Goku would not stand a snowball's hell of a chance. Now, when Animation Rewind went on to say what Goku's feats was in Super, which at the time when Screw Attack's second fight came out, the movies didn't give us such detailed feats. So again, I can give Screw Attack some leeway, but bloody hell, Goku in his Red God form can destroy the whole freaking universe with just 6 punches. First it was planet busters like Frieza, solar system busters like Cell, galaxy busters like Boo, and now we have universe busters like Beerus. It just keeps on getting better and better. Goku's Super Saiyan God Blue form is even more powerful and as a healing factor, which is pretty cool. And by the way, if you guys have a chance to go and watch my video on my Super Saiyan God theory, I think you might be interested in what I have to say about that. So look in the description box below to go and watch that video. And Goku now has perfected his universe busting punch, while Superman can only destroy a planet with his punch. But like I said, I didn't know this at the time, but again, we can give Screw Attack some leeway. As for Animation Rewind's animation for the fights, the first fight was funny and with no surprise, Goku lost. But again, this was when I first saw this video. The second fight, the animation, well, Screw Attack beats Animation Rewind's animation without a doubt. No offense to Animation Rewind, of course. But when Superman lost, I was really surprised. And I thought, wait, Goku can't win because Screw Attack made some good points in their videos. And after I heard Animation Rewind's explanation as to why Goku would win, dear God, was I angry. Hold on, let me show you guys this clip that I showed you earlier.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
And you clearly screwed up in the Majin Buu versus Kirby fight. But again, different video. Not only did you screw up Buu versus Kirby, you screwed up your calculations and your research. Or maybe you're just lying. But let's proceed to Animation Rewind's reasons why he thinks Goku can win. The first question was the Book of Infinite Pages. And if you saw Animation Rewind's video, Goku vs Superman, you know the answer to this and to the other questions. So their claim that Superman can lift the Book of Infinite Pages, well, turns out that was a lie, because Superman and Shazam failed to lift the Book of Infinite Pages. The second question was, could Superman and Wonder Woman lift up Spectre, which was made up of eternity? And the answer was no, because eternity is a measurement of time, not mass, and Supes is struggling to lift him, even with the help of Wonder Woman. But Green Lantern lifted Spectre all on his own, and how Animation Rewind brings up how Superman moving planets wouldn't have been possible without the help of Green Lantern. Which, by the way, if you guys are going to say, oh, but he got the help from the sun to push planets, well, that's outside help, and Screw Attack's rule was broken because Supes ran to the sun to get more power, just like how Kirby used monsters to help him transform. And Animation Rewind's recent video, Goku vs New 52 Superman, says that if Superman was to push the Earth by himself, he would go straight through it. But I guess if it gives them the edge, so I guess it's okay. But again, Screw Attack lied to us. Question 3. Superman's speed. Now, I thought, hold on, how are they going to explain this one with Superman's speed from Vega to Earth under 10 minutes? And then the explanation was told about time in space, explained by Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Near the Earth, the source of gravity, clocks run at the speed we know. If we're not moving and we're way out here where the pull of gravity isn't as strong, time goes ever so slightly faster. We know this is true because we've measured it with spacecraft.
Then, when Animation Rewind said battle speed is completely different from travel speed, which I have to agree with, because if you was to read and watch the manga and anime while Goku was a boy in Dragon Ball, he could fight and travel at the speed of light. Now, Goku as a Super Saiyan God, Blue, can go even faster than that and further. If you saw the whole Dragon Ball series, you'd understand. But I suggest you guys go watch the AF17's Boo vs Kirby video and his other videos. He makes good arguments. So again, Screw Attack lied to us, or they have crap researchers. The fourth question was, could Superman destroy the universe? Which I didn't know he could do that. But after hearing Animation Rewind's explanation and evidence, yeah, Screw Attack didn't show us this, but it's still interesting to know. If you haven't seen Cartoon Fight Club's episode 30 of Goku vs Superman, go and watch it. Now, as for pre-Crisis Superman, yeah, Goku doesn't stand a ghost of a chance against this Superman. No way, no how, unless Goku has the same abilities as pre-Crisis Superman. So I give up on this Superman. Yes, you lot heard me, Goku cannot win against pre-Crisis Superman, and with good reason. If you saw the video, then I'm sure you'd understand. Even I know Goku can't beat this version of Superman, so I admit defeat on this Superman. And so, when Animation Rewind said it depends on the timeline and versions and locations, etc., and not meshing up characters, that got me thinking on how we can settle this debate once and for all, which brings me to my ultimate solution. Now, here's what I think we should do, and let me say, I'm going to be fair and square about this, and I'm not going to give any rules that will give either Superman or Goku an edge. It's going to be a fair fight on equal terms, and if you guys want to discuss these rules and terms with me or with fellow fans, either make a video about it or talk about it on forums or leave comments. Without further ado, let's continue. First off, we wait until the Dragon Ball franchise comes to a complete stop. Now, this is a given because even if Goku obtains a new feat and new powers and wins against more powerful opponents, it's gonna keep going on and on and on until the series comes to an end. We don't know what Goku will ultimately get till the end of the series, so it's best we wait this out until then. So in the meantime, we study what Goku can do and has done, and what Superman can do, which comes to my next idea. 2. We study what each Superman can do and what their feats are, but we don't mesh Superman up from other medias. Now this got me thinking, when Animation Rewind said you can't mesh up Superman from other media because that would create an illogical character, and you know what? He's right. That's like saying let's mix Cosmic Armor Superman with Superman Prime 1 million or Superman Red and Blue with pre-Crisis Superman. It just doesn't work. So to sort this out, I had this idea. What if we had one writer, one Superman, one Goku? Now I'm not saying, okay, pick one Superman to fight Goku and that'll be it, but use all of them against a Goku. There are loads of versions of Superman out there. The cartoons, the movies, the comics, the novels, etc. Basically, loads of them. Goku, on the other hand, only has one. Oh, okay, there are two versions of Goku, GT Goku and Super Goku, and both comes after Z, so we can use both of these versions separately. One is Canon Goku, which is from Super, from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball Super. The other is GT Goku, and yes, it's not canon, but hear me out on this. I would like to use GT Goku not as a part of the current timeline, but as a different character altogether. Think of GT and Super as two paths that comes from Z. Goku in Super is going to get stronger, but we know Goku in GT is going to stay the same as he is because that timeline is finished. And since we're going to use all versions of Superman, we might as well use GT Goku too. And here's another idea. All versions versions of Superman must fight GT Goku first before fighting Dragon Ball Super Goku, and if they lose against GT Goku, then they can't fight Super Goku. And here's a few things about Superman. 1. Each Superman has a different writer. 2. Each Superman is powerful in their own unique way and aren't the same. 3. There are weak versions to absolute god versions of Superman with different universes and timelines. Basically, they're all different and hasn't achieved the same feats as their counterparts. And here's where the rules come in. Rule number 1. No outside help. Rule number 2. The fight will take place on a distant planet or dimension so they can go all out without worrying about destroying the Earth. Rule number 3. Both characters will know nothing about each other even after Goku fights Superman's previous counterparts. Rule number 4. All versions of Superman and Goku can't use items or abilities or powers or feats of what other versions can do or have. For example, Goku from Super can't use Kamehameha times 10 or Super Saiyan 4 from GT, or Goku from GT can't use Super Saiyan God and other abilities and such from Super, or one version of Superman can use the Flash Bomb while other versions can't, or one version of Superman can lobotomize people while other versions can't, unless the comics or movies or cartoons etc., depending on which one is mentioned in the media they are in, that Superman from other versions can do the feats of other versions can do. So again, let's use GT Goku to weed out the weaker versions of Superman till the Dragon Ball franchise has stopped. Power scaling is very important to Dragon Ball. They used to use the scouters to help us with how powerful someone is, but now we use character feats, which is a major factor throughout the series, like how Goku compared Deborah with Super Perfect Cell, so feats will be used for GT and Super when it's finished. So again, until Dragon Ball Super ends, we will use GT Goku to weed out the weaker versions of Superman. And this is where the researchers come in. There will be 3 teams of 5 people on each team. The first team will be the Superman fans who knows all the versions of Superman, which will include Bizarro and Justice Lord and Ultraman, etc. and all the comics, the cartoons, the films, the novels, every piece of media Supes has been in. The second team will be Dragon Ball fans who knows the Dragon Ball series from Dragon Ball to Z to GT and of course Super. But like I said, we wait till Super finishes. The Dragon Ball movies Goku will be included in this, but only for GT Goku, because the villains in the movies make an appearance in GT. As I see it, the Dragon Ball Z movies are connected to GT. And then you'll have Team 3, the neutrals, who will do a compromise between the two groups. The neutrals will be a mixture of fans of both Superman and Goku, or aren't fans of either, but will listen to both sides as to why Goku or Superman will win or lose, until an agreement between the 3 groups are met. The 3 teams will do a similar watch and reading of both franchises at the same time, then meet up in a forum at the agreed time and discuss what they read or watched. I believe Dragon Ball should go first for research because there is only 2 Goku, so the manga and anime will be watched all the way through by both parties till they go from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z to Dragon Ball GT, and all 3 teams will try to figure out how powerful and fast Goku is. Then after researching Goku, Superman will be next, which will be a pain in the ass because there are loads of versions of Superman, but Team Superman will sort out on which Superman to use and concentrate on. Then both teams will study the chosen Superman. Then as soon as they finish on that Superman, both teams will debate on who would win till both sides agree on who would win between GT Goku or the selected Superman, and this cycle will continue till we get through all of them. And if 1 or 2 of the people on the teams wants to quit because it's too much hard work or they've got other things to do, then we can select someone else to take their place. So again, whichever Superman can't get past GT Goku, then that Superman can't fight Super Goku, since Super Saiyan God Blue Goku is stronger than GT Goku. And when Dragon Ball Super is finished, we will do the same with Super. And with all that said and done, let's do it. And before I finish, I would like everyone to know something. I admit defeat that Goku can't beat Superman 1 million, Cosmic Armor Superman, the Thought Robot, and Pre-Crisis Superman. Yeah, I know all about these Superman, and there is no chance in hell can Goku beat these guys, so it's an automatic win for Goku. I don't know about the other versions of Superman, but we'll get to that when we get to that. And as for my final say in this matter, I'll leave it till the Dragon Ball franchise has finished. Well, that's it from me. Is there anything that you guys want to say? Or is there anything that you want to add? Do you agree on my methods? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram, which I now got. Oh, and P.S. Goku can now go Kaioken in his Super Saiyan God Blue form. How freaking awesome is that? Booyah! I'll see you guys next time. Cheerio.